What you do every single day may seem small, but it's silently writing the story of your life. Think about it, your habits shape your identity, and at the same time, your identity drives your habits. If you see yourself as a disciplined, focused individual, you naturally choose actions that reflect that belief. On the other hand, if you carry the identity of someone who is scattered or inconsistent, your habits will echo that as well. This is why real change doesn't just happen on the surface, it happens when you start to align who you believe you are with the actions you take. When you shift the picture you hold of yourself even slightly, your habits will begin to change to match that vision. And as those habits shift, so does your entire life. You cannot change what you're not aware of. Most people go through their days on autopilot, repeating the same patterns without ever questioning them. The truth is, awareness is the very first step toward transformation. When you stop and really look at yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your routines, you start to see the connection between what you do and the results you're getting. This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity. Once you become conscious of a habit, you hold the power to change it. Maybe you notice how often you reach for your phone when you're stressed, or how you talk yourself out of opportunities because of fear. That moment of recognition is a gift because it gives you choice, and with choice comes freedom. Awareness opens the door to possibility, and once you walk through, you can begin reshaping your identity and building habits that reflect the life you truly want. Lasting change doesn't come from massive leaps. It comes from small, steady steps taken consistently. Too often people try to overhaul their entire life overnight, and when the weight of that effort becomes too heavy, they slip back into old ways. The secret is to start small while keeping your bigger vision in mind. One tiny shift repeated day after day compounds into extraordinary results. Reading a few pages each morning may seem insignificant, but over time it shapes the identity of a disciplined learner. Choosing to walk instead of sitting still for an extra hour may look small, but it reinforces the identity of someone who values health. These little actions are like seeds. You don't see the tree instantly, but you trust it's growing beneath the surface. And as you continue nurturing those small habits, they create the momentum that carries you toward your larger vision. When people try to break a bad habit, they often focus only on stopping the behavior. But here's the truth, you can't just remove something and leave an empty space. Nature doesn't like a vacuum, and neither does your mind. If you let go of one habit without replacing it, the old one usually creeps back in, or something just as destructive takes its place. The real key is substitution. If you're trying to stop negative self-talk, replace it with affirmations that build confidence. If you want to stop wasting time scrolling, replace that with reading, journaling, or learning something new. By giving yourself a positive alternative, you make it easier for your mind and body to accept the change. Over time, the replacement grows stronger and becomes your new normal. You don't just remove a habit, you redirect your energy into something that serves your vision. Your environment is silently shaping your behavior every single day. Look around you. The people you spend time with, the spaces you live and work in, even the routines of those around you, all have a powerful influence on the habits you form. If you surround yourself with people who are driven, disciplined, and positive, you'll feel pulled to rise to that same standard. But if you spend most of your time in environments filled with negativity, procrastination, or unhealthy choices, it becomes far more difficult to sustain the habits that will move you forward. The good news is you have the ability to design your environment. That might mean keeping healthier food in your kitchen, setting your workspace up for focus, or choosing friends who inspire you to become your best self. When your surroundings align with your goals, your habits naturally follow suit. Motivation is a great spark, but it doesn't last. What carries you forward is consistency. When you repeat an action long enough, it begins to take root. And what once felt difficult eventually becomes effortless. Think about it. At first, a new habit may feel uncomfortable, even unnatural. But with discipline and persistence, that repeated action starts to carve new pathways in your mind, and soon it becomes second nature. That's how momentum is built, and momentum is powerful. It doesn't just keep you moving, it pulls you forward with greater ease than before. Consistency is not about perfection, it's about showing up again and again, no matter how small the step may be. Over time, though, steps create a rhythm that rewires your behavior, your thinking, and ultimately your identity. And once you reach that point, you don't have to chase change, change begins to chase you.